When I was in fourth grade, I remember precisely coming back home in my school bus, and I had this test notebook, and I hid that test notebook from everybody. I was I had this in a secret pocket, so nobody could look at it because I felt shame. I failed my mathematics test. Everybody around me, all of my peers, my classmates, they did amazing, or most of them were like better than me at that thing. I probably got the lowest marks in the entire class. It was shameful. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating for me to go through that experience. I went through that for the next 6 more years. You see, on that ride back to my house, I was fearful and embarrassed of what my parents would think about me. I wished nobody would find out about this test I had just given. But obviously, it's going to be exposed in the teacher parents meeting, right? And I hated it. And it was one specific day where we were going on a PTM, parents teacher meeting, and there was this one parent and their child. And I saw the smile on her mother when she said that you have scored straight A's in all of your subjects, and I'm super proud of you. And that kid was smiling, and the whole family was smiling, and I felt so fucking bad. I felt so embarrassed. I felt like a loser. I felt disgusted in myself. I never respected myself. And for years after that time, after that moment, I tried to work. I tried to study and be better at mathematics, but I kept on failing it. And I kept on never making progress. I didn't know what it was. It was like I'm fighting against my own self, and this other part of me is destroying me in this fight all of the times for years. You have some classmates who make fun of you. You have some teachers who are bad to you, who told you that you were never good at mathematics. You're just not made for science. One teacher told me, you don't have what it takes to do science. You should do arts. You should do something else. You're not made for it. You're just stupid. And that created a self image, a self belief of myself that that made me make zero progress no matter how much I tried to get good grades, no matter how much I tried to change my life, no matter how much I tried to study, because everybody around me, me myself, made my self identity as that of a person who is a backbencher, who is a failure, who does not study, who plays video games, who does these bad habits. Fast forward to 10th grade. I did this one thing for 2 minutes to 10 minutes for 2 months. And that changed my life forever. That changed the trajectory of my life from somebody who failed his class to somebody who became a straight A student. And I'm going to talk about the blueprint I followed that changed my self identity. Because all of these YouTubers, all of these people, they talk about changing your self identity. Atomic Habits talk about identity changes and changing yourself from the inside to make significant progress in your life, to change your life. But nobody talks about how do you do it, or less people talk about it, or you probably don't know how do you do it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how do you change your self identity for good? How do you stop self sabotaging? How do you stop doing the things that keeps you at this low, shameful state where you don't even like yourself, where you are embarrassed to be yourself? I've also used the teachings of the book called Psycho-Cybernetics from Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And if you haven't read that book, I would urge you as an action step to read it after the video. Like, go get a copy or a PDF and try to read the book. It is probably going to be the single most impactful thing you do this year. But before that, I'm Arsh, and I talk about productivity. How do you work like the top 1%? How do you think like the top 1%? How do you get rid of the limiting beliefs you had? How do you focus? How do you get rid of the addictions? How do you take back control of your life? Stop self sabotaging. Get rid of the addictions, because these are the problems I have solved in my own life. And the advice I give you are the advice that I followed in my own life that worked for me. It's not the cliche advice these other BS YouTubers give, and they copy and paste these advice from the books, and they don't even use it in their own life, and they just talk about it and tell you to do something that they haven't done. And then you are like, why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this random rule they talked about work? Because it doesn't. It's just good on paper, but in practice, it just doesn't work. And I'm also going to share my life, the learning lessons I have into becoming the top version of myself. And if you're into that motto, I would urge you to subscribe to my channel. Let's begin. 10 years. It was 10 years of my life where I was struggling to make any amount of progress. I have probably made negative progress because every time I made some progress, I would just derail and get sidetracked and get back into my old self and destroy the progress I made. And it happened for 10 years. And it took me 2 months to fix it. So let's first understand how important self image is. There's this mental blueprint you hold about yourself, who you are. And that mental blueprint is formed majorly because of the things that has happened in your past, in your childhood. And the biggest problem right now is most people do things and take action that is fueled by their childhood, by what they had been through in the past. This can be positive and this can be negative. You see kids who had a great childhood and now they are doing immensely amazing things. They're opening up companies, they're entrepreneurs, they're doing all of these good things because they had a good childhood and they do it naturally. And we are like, how the fuck are they making so much progress in like 1 month? And I'm here like for the past 6 months not doing anything because they had healthy childhood. Or chances are they fixed their self image, even if they had unhealthy childhood experiences. So either you're aware about it, you're aware about the things that happened, and you take action and take control and change the direction from where earlier you were just flowing with life automatically and you're doing activities you didn't know that was fueled by your childhood, and now you're having that control and now you do the things that you were supposed to do because your self identity and your self image, the mental blueprint you hold about yourself, is high enough that makes you not do these low level activities. For example, I cannot imagine myself murdering or committing a crime. It's just something that I cannot do. I just can't imagine myself being a criminal. I just can't. Because my self identity, my mental blueprint that I hold of myself doesn't allow me to do those activities. Now imagine if you hold a self belief about yourself that I don't scroll on social media for 3 hours a day. I don't eat junk food. I don't go on Pornhub. I don't do these bad activities. Imagine if you hold a self identity like that of a top 1% man, that of a top 1% woman who demands respect, who lives life in a way which is healthy. Imagine you hold that self image about yourself. Naturally, these things that are below you will feel far away from you, will feel like something that you just cannot do. So, it is incredibly important to fix your self image because no matter what you do, if you're fighting against your self image, it's like an uphill battle and you will fail. Your self image dictates your action and your behavior in real life. You manifest the things you believe about yourself into reality. So, you need to change and work on your self image so you can achieve your goals. You don't chase your goals, you chase the character traits of the version of yourself that has those goals already achieved. You don't chase goals, you chase the character traits of the version of yourself that has those goals already achieved. Let's talk about this concept called servo mechanism that is discussed in the book Psycho-Cybernetics. Let me give you the dictionary definition. A servo mechanism is an automated control system that operates by constantly making adjustments to reach a predefined goal. For example, think of an autopilot system that is used in machines like guided missiles, thermostats, aircraft navigation. Once the goal is set, the system self corrects itself back to the course on the basis of feedback loop until the goal is achieved. We have our own goal striving mechanism, and this goal striving mechanism will make us go from A to B. And we have a servo mechanism that automatically corrects itself if it's going out of the path. If it's getting sidetracked, it automatically corrects itself back to the path to achieve this end result we want to achieve. Every one of us have this goal striving mechanism inside of us. So when you define a clear goal, your mind, your brain, your nervous system, all of you creates this internal feedback loop which allows you to chase this goal and optimize yourself to do better day by day. And if you get sidetracked, you get back on track because it has a feedback loop that allows you to say, okay, I messed up here, I need to do this X thing, and it all happens automatically inside of your brain. You don't even need to think about it. It's like an automated missile system, like I said. And your brain has it. It's very powerful if you use it. So the brain functions like a cybernetic machine, adjusting automatically to achieve goals when given clear direction. So, how do you use this machine that is inside of your brain? Before that, we need to understand one more thing. It works on the basis of imagination. So if you imagine a positive or a negative goal, it will manifest itself into reality. It doesn't know the difference between positive or negative. It will just achieve it because it's just a system, it's a machine that achieves goal. The goal can be negative or a positive goal. Now, you think about it. If your self-image is bad and you talk to yourself in a bad way, you have negative thoughts about the goals, this system, this goal striving mechanism inside of you, doesn't work. It makes you achieve that negative result you didn't want. That's what happened for the past 10 years of my life. When I was in fourth grade, I had a self belief that I wasn't good at these things. I was a failure. I was a backbencher. And that automatically manifested itself into reality because my brain has a goal striving mechanism and it doesn't know the difference between good and bad. It just achieves it. And it achieved what I didn't wanted, but I told myself every single day, my self image, my self belief. So you see now how important it is to change your self image, to change it, because this goal striving mechanism will make it so much easier to achieve the goals you wanted to achieve all your life, because now you hold a positive, better, healthy self identity of yourself. So this is how this machine works inside of us. Number one, we need to set clear goals. Just like in a machine, which is, let's say, a missile target system, and it needs to hit the target. It needs to go from A to B. Let's say a GPS system, you need to go from A to B. Just like that, we need to set clear goals. We need to write it down and we need to see and imagine it every single day. A to B, okay, end results, I want this from my life. Define it clearly. That's how you can utilize this incredibly powerful system that is within you. So, one of the goals could be losing 20 kilograms in 12 months, or achieving good grades in your final examinations, or having a successful business, or making X amount of money. Whatever goal you have, define it clearly. Once you define it, your brain will automatically create a feedback loop and it will automatically correct yourself back to the course, and you will automatically generate thoughts once you get sidetracked. Let's talk about success mechanism and failure mechanism. Success mechanism happens when you think positively, when you have a positive self belief about yourself, about the goal you have set, and your brain achieves it because you were thinking positively. That's the power of thinking in the right way, because your brain doesn't know, as I've said, the difference between success and failure. It just gets there. That's the whole system. It just goes from A to B, and that is it. That's the entire purpose of the system. Failure mechanism happens when you dwell on negative thoughts, when you dwell on things like, oh, I can't be great at mathematics. I can't open a business that will make me $1 million. When you have these negative beliefs, that's when you fail. And it's not your brain's fault, it's your fault because you thought about these things and your brain just manifested it into reality. That's its job. Every one of us has a goal. Even the guy you see on the streets, the beggar, they have a goal in mind. You don't have to write the goal down. You just have it in your brain. You imagine it. So, what's the thing that I did for 2 months of my life in 10th grade that changed the trajectory of my life forever? And that made me into this top 1% performer when it comes to working and being the version of myself I am today. These 2 months, I did this thing, and I'm going to walk you through the steps I followed. Firstly, as I said, I defined a crystal clear goal for me to achieve. I wrote it down and I read it every single morning. Before I started my day, I would read my goals. I had one goal, one defined goal, which was to finally destroy this version of me which was failing me for 10 years. I finally wanted some respect from my peers, from my parents, from everybody around me. I wanted to change my life. And that's the biggest goal I had. And I read it and I visualized it every single morning. Imagination. That's the next thing. I imagined it to be true. I imagined that end result. Throughout the day, I would be obsessing over what it would feel like to be that version of me that achieves my goals, that gets those results. What it would be like to be a millionaire. I obsess over it every single day. The 2 minute thing I did was visualization. I set a timer for 2 minutes, and that timer had like this intense music with no lyrics, just intense music. And every single morning, what I would do is I would close my eyes and I would imagine two things. I would imagine the long term goal, the end result, what would happen in 5 years and 2 years. And the second thing I imagined was how would my day today go like? And specifically, what I imagined was my to do list, my diary, and everything on that list getting crossed off or highlighted, which says basically I've done that task, I've completed it. And you wouldn't believe, I wish I could show you that journal, but for like 100 pages straight, every single one of my task was checked off. And I was working for 12 hours a day every single day for like 6 months straight. Before that page, you would see multiple pages of to do list, but almost none of them were like checked off or crossed off. But after I started to do this one specific imagination or visualization, which was me imagining my to do list getting checked off, and then me imagining me going through the process of me working hard throughout the day, meditating, and just at the end of the day, I would imagine, like in the morning, I would imagine how the end of the day would feel like. So I would imagine me closing my laptop, closing my books, and checking all the last task in my to do list completely crossed off, and me smiling and feeling happy from the day I have just accomplished, I have just done. And that small 10-second visualization made me do exactly that for months. So, 2 minute visualization every single morning. The first part was the end result, the grades, what I want to do, what I want to do in the long term goals. I visualize them as if they already happened. The second thing I visualized within those 2 minutes was me going through my day and having the best day I can have and visualizing it as if it already happened. And when I would start my day with that visualization, I'm setting myself up for success because my brain now will operate automatically. My brain will automatically make me do things that achieve that imagination I had because we have goal striving mechanism built into us. And once you start to practice this, long term, like in 2, 3 months, you will be taking action that is aligned with your goals, but also now you will be changing your self image, your mental blueprint that you hold about yourself because you are taking action. Two ways to change your self identity about yourself. I'm going to give you straight away both of these ways. And these are the probably only two ways I have heard about till now. If there's another way, I'm going to make a video about it. One way is to take action every single day and wait for our self image to change over time. It will sort of reset and update itself to that higher self, that higher version of yourself that does those activities. So you have to take action regardless of you feeling the temptations of bad habits. You have to take the action long enough so your brain or your self image can update itself to be that guy or a girl. So that's the first way. Take action long enough so your self image updates itself. The second is a bit faster, which is to visualize and talk positively with yourself, to visualize your goals, to imagine a life which you want to live and obsess over it every single day. Visualization is the second way to change your self image faster. What I urge you to do is do both. Do both of these things. Take action every single day that is more aligned with the superior version of yourself. And second, visualize your goals. Visualize what you want to do day to day. Visualize how you want your week to go. It will take you like 2 minutes. You can make it 5 minutes if you want to get the most out of it. But 2 minutes will be fine. Just visualize your long term goals, your short term goals, and today. How would today go like? What would you do today? Just visualize it and imagine it to be the perfect way for just the next 24 hours and see what happens. So I did two kinds of visualization, the long term visualization and the micro level visualization. The long term visualization is basically me having a successful business, me making a lot of money, me helping people, genuinely changing lives. And the second micro level visualization is me visualizing my daily to do list getting checked off, my daily day to day activities that I do, gym, work, recording videos, learning, reading, all of these activities. I'm just imagining, visualizing it in the morning, how my days would go like. Have immense faith in yourself. Have immense faith just delude yourself into thinking that you will be successful into achieving the goals you want to achieve. Just be delusional for once. You have lied to yourself so many times and you believe so many lies that you have told. You might as well lie once again about something that helps you for the first time in your life. You might as well just be delusional for this one thing that will actually help you to achieve your goals and have immense faith and belief in yourself that you will achieve those goals. And how do you do that? By changing your environment, by surrounding yourself with people you want to be like, by looking at content of people on YouTube that you want to be like, leaders that lead the whole world, that change the world, that make an impact. Learn about them, read about them, and start to hear them 24 hours like continuously. Just learn from them. When you're free, just play a podcast of a person who is highly articulated in his or her speech. Learn from them. Write down the things you want to achieve, believe it, imagine it. Visualization will give you faith in yourself because your ultimate version of yourself has those goals already achieved. There's a version inside of you that has those goals achieved. It is waiting for you. There's a version that is inside of you, the ultimate version that you cannot even fathom the capabilities of that version of you, but you are not doing it because of your laziness, because you don't have crystal clear defined goals, because you're not utilizing your goal striving mechanism in the best way you can possibly utilize it in. Extra tools like affirmations, positive thinking, positive self talk, looking at content of positive people, podcast, these reading about popular people, reading about emperors and conquerors, and reading about the top 1%, top 0.1% of men and women in the world. These things will give you immense faith, clarity, and along with that, if you do affirmations, that will help you a lot with being or having more faith in yourself. So, this is exactly how you change your self image, and this is exactly how I did it. In the next upcoming videos, I'm going to make a video about my document that I read every single day. It's called the Alchemy of Self document that I've created. And I'm going to go in depth in that video about what I do now to change my self image to becoming the ultimate version of myself that I want to manifest into reality. If you got value out of this video, I would urge you to like the video, share it, and comment down below. If you like my channel and my content, you can subscribe to it. I hope you achieve your goals and you are successfully able to change your self image because that's the single most important ingredient into becoming successful. And that is why I'm devoting so much of my time into developing my self image into the next version. Thank you for watching this video and I hope you have a good day.